Hi everybody, it's Deb here with Creative Life. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. And I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. So today, y'all, we're going to be using this scrapbook kit from Jolie. And I think we're going to also be using the card kit. And this is the card kit. Let me bring that out. So we've got the card kit and this. Now, usually I don't use two papers at once, but this project, you can use both papers, and we're actually going to make two little projects out of one. So, confused yet? So this is going to be something really fun. It's a little gift that you can give to maybe a friend or, family member for their birthday, for maybe just to say thank you, or, whatever. And you can stick little things inside of it, and it's going to be super, super cute. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing you're going to need is a piece of 8.5 by 11-inch paper, okay, and just one. And you're going to go ahead and score at 1.5, and I'm going to bring this in. Now, I've already scored mine, okay, but I'm going to do it again with you. So, you're going to score at 1.5, okay. You're going to score at 3 3/4. You're going to score at 5 1/8, okay, and then 7 3/8, okay. So those are going to be your score lines. The next thing you're going to do is we're going to cut this in half. So that means that we're going to cut this at 4 1/4. So I'm going to bring out my trimmer. And you are going to go ahead, and we're just going to go ahead and line that up and cut this at 4 1/4. Okay, so there we go. Alrighty. So the next thing we're going to do is, now I'm probably going to have to, my little numbers might show on here. So I might have to erase some when I cover or just try to cover it and see if it'll cover up with the paper. Now what we're going to do, though, is we're going to go ahead and cover this. So you're going to cut little panels for each individual thing. So we're going to cover the inside and the back side. So you're going to need 4 for this, 4 for this, 4, 4, and 4. Okay, and once we get those covered, then we'll come back in and we'll go ahead and create our little project. This is super simple, you guys, super simple. So I'll be right back. Okay, so before I cut any of my paper, I went through each little panel that we scored, and I went ahead and measured them all. And what I came up with is 4 1/8 is going to be the width of this. And then you're going to cut these out at 1 3/8 if you want a border, okay? And then 2 1/8, 1 1/4, 2 1/8, and then the top one would be 3 1/2. So it's up to you if you want to double these up. So like this is the inside, right? So you don't have to double these, but you may want to put like a double, mat on this side, and maybe not on this side because we have to cut a hole up here. And then on the bottom, so it's totally up to you how you want to do this, okay? But I will say the other thing that you will need is a little pot. Now, I got these pots over at the Dollar Tree, okay? And they're about 2.5 inches on top. I don't know, and about almost 2.5 or 2 3/8 or something, or 5/8 inches. So they're a little bit big. Let me see if I have the wrapper. It's a set of 3 terracotta pots. It doesn't really give the inches on it, but that's what these are. Okay, so so again, I got these over at the Dollar Tree. And what we're going to do is once we get this all put together, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut a little hole in here, stick this inside of here, and we're going to add some little flowers, or you can add candy, you can add whatever you would like to your little little project, whatever you want to give. And so anyway, we're going to make 2 of these. So let's go ahead and then get started. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my papers now. Okay, so now I'm just going ahead and I'm mounting all of my pattern paper on the front and back of this strip. And then you'll do the same thing on the other strip. Okay, so I went ahead and I mounted everything, the front and the back, and now we're almost done. So to get your little hole right here, you're going to cut out a little 2-inch circle, and you're just going to cut out 1, and then you're going to go ahead and we're going to place it on top of here, kind of right in the middle, and you're just going to go ahead and draw a circle. Now, if you have a punch that reaches in the middle, you could definitely use that. I do not have that. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to draw a circle. Now, I do have another utensil that I can use to do this, but I know a lot of people probably don't have that. So I'm just going to do it this way. And what we're going to do is we are going to grab our X-Acto knife, and we're going to just go ahead and you're going to press really hard, and you're going to cut that right in the center. Okay, and I think I went over a little bit. That's okay. And same thing here. You're just going to go right in the middle to that point and just cut it up like a pizza. So we're going to do that. All right. Just like that. Okay, and I'm just going to go all the way around. Now, once you're done cutting this, now it may not, mine didn't go all the way through, but I can still press my fingers through here. I can grab my scissors and just go ahead and cut. And I'm just going to kind of cut in a spiral like so all the way around until I get this cut out. Now you can use your X-Acto knife if you want to kind of cut the circle out. I'm not I am not that steady on my hand where I can do that, I don't think. But you can definitely try it. It's working. So you can definitely try that, see if that works for you. It is working kind of good here. So yeah, definitely try it out, see if that works for you. So it does help a little bit, kind of flex the paper more. And this little gift that we're making is so stinking cute. I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. And we're also going to put in the little fairies that we did in that you get inside of the card kit. So we're definitely going to be adding those on here. And I colored those up in another video, and you'll be seeing those soon. And I will tell you what I used for those once we get those in here. And here I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. Oh. And then any like rough edges, and nobody's going to see this part here because this is going to be underneath. So there we go. So there is our little circle, and our little pot will fit right inside of there just like that. So cute, right? Oh my gosh, this is going to be so cute, you guys. Okay, all right. So now what we're going to do is I went ahead and cut up one of the papers to go ahead and put on as a backing. So here is my front, okay? So my front is going to be like this, all right? And I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to put this, I'm going to go ahead and cover this part, I decided. And because I really like this other paper, I think it's going to go really pretty with this. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. Then we're going to add in these two things. Now these two pieces come in the cut apart page in the scrapbook kit. And we're going to add this here along with the little envelope. And you can, and these have a little score area, you know, where you could score the flaps. So all you have to do is just score the flaps, burnish them down, and you can attach these. How cute is that? Oh my gosh, that is super cute. And then you can definitely just stick this on there, so that way it's kind of up a little bit. And there we go. Now I could just stick this on there, but I want a nice backing on there. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and use this paper. I could actually use this paper too. That's really pretty. That's kind of pretty too, isn't it? Oh my gosh. I kind of like this. So I think I'm going to use that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paper this little piece. I'm going to cut this down, place this on here like this, okay? And then, and that will make it a little sturdier, especially with all of the double paper on here. You don't have to cover this part if you don't want to. You can definitely just leave it. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover that, and I'm going to paper it and everything and get that going. And I'm going to cover the front and the back of this paper here. So I'll be right back. So now, as you can see, I went ahead and I'm gluing the pocket and the large tag together, and I'm placing it on top of that plain paper that I covered with the pattern paper, and we're just going to go ahead and burnish that together. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover the back of that paper with pattern paper on the back side. So that is how you're going to get a nice little place where you can stick a tag or a card inside of that little pocket. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere all of these together. So now I'm just placing that I guess card, the pocket card, on top of the back panel of this little box. So the back panel is going to be adhered, and then you're going to go ahead and adhere that on just like so, and then you're going to go ahead and burnish that down, and then you're going to go ahead and we're going to flip that bottom part up. Now the bottom part, the way bottom little panel, you're going to go ahead and either use glue or use tape, whatever you want, just some sort of adhesive, and you're going to go ahead and flip that over so your hole is on top, and you're going to go ahead and adhere that to the back side of that little card. Now what I did is I took one of the stamp sets from a past kit that was May of 2024, and I used this stamp to on this little tag that is on the cut apart page of the scrapbook kit. And I went ahead and mounted that right in the center of the front panel. And then I used some little the little diamond embellishment flat back dots that we got from the card kit, and I put those on there, and then I mounted a little flower on top of there. And yeah, so these are so pretty. I love those little diamond embellishments. So I'm just going to go ahead and mount that little flower on there, and then you can go ahead and you can decorate your little pot the way you want to. So to do this, I went ahead and I grabbed some of the little flowers. I was deciding whether or not I wanted to put paper flowers on there, or if I just wanted to use strictly the um, faux flowers. So I opted for the faux flowers, of course. So we're going to go ahead and use the other flowers at a later time. Okay, next I went ahead and used some of the floral stuffing that you put inside of like your floral pots and stuff. I went ahead and put that inside of there, and then I went ahead and grabbed a skewer, and I from my kitchen. And I went ahead and placed that and just glued that to the back of the little fairy and placed that right inside of the little pot. Now you can use, if you, I mean, I didn't use a toothpick, I used a skewer, but whatever you want to use, you can definitely use that. And then on this little clock, this is one of the ephemera pieces from the packet. I went ahead and placed down some back sided tape on that, and then I went ahead and used some foam strips that I had, and I doubled those up, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the other clock that's in the ephemera packet, and I'm going to place that on top of there just like that. So now it's got a front and back side, and you can do the same thing, and that's going to go inside of that little pot there. And you can cut these however short you want them, however long you want them, whatever you want to do. And then now I'm just going to start placing my little flowers inside of here. So on this, what I decided to do is to use toothpicks, because at first I was just placing these little guys in there, and then I decided to go ahead and grab some toothpicks. So what I did is I put glue on the toothpick, and then I wound that stem around the toothpick, and then just kind of it dried, and then I just stuck the little leaves inside of the little pot. And then for the flowers, what I did at first, I started using glue, but then I decided to use some double the dots, because they're double backed, and so I decided to go ahead and just twist those around the toothpick, and then you'll stick them on the back of the flower. So I'm just grabbing the dot, and at first I just started laying them flat against the flower, but it's easier if you grab your toothpick, roll your toothpick along um, the glue dot, and then you'll go ahead and it'll stick to the flower. So it's so much easier that way. And so I did that for both this one and the other one, the other pot that I did. And then for some of the flowers, I didn't use anything, and I just stuck them in there. And yeah, so it just depends on what you're looking for. So yeah, so this was so easy, so fun to do, you guys. I found it so relaxing. So So here is the second pot, and yes, I used a lot of the ephemera from the card kit to do this one. And I just stuck those, I love those purple flowers, and so I just been sticking those in there. I went ahead and backed up the purple pink fairy, the chipboard fairy, and I went ahead and put her on a skewer as well. And then I went ahead and added some other ephemera around the little back end there, and used double back tape to build things up. And you guys, this one turned out so pretty. I love the purple. I don't know what it is. Lately, I've just been purpley. So I usually am pink, but purple's been growing on me lately. I don't know what it is. So here I'm just winding up that dot to the back of the toothpick, and then just sticking that back on there, on the back of that little fairy. And I did that for the flowers as well. Okay, y'all, so we finished these beautiful little flower pots, and I think that they turned out super cute. Now, I put the flowers inside of them, but really, you can put anything. You can put tea, you can put candy, you can put anything you want inside of these. I just thought that these looked so cute with the flowers that you get in your kit. And these, this one is done with papered by the scrapbook paper. And then I used some of the other embellishments from the card kit. So the purple flowers, the little guys down here with the little door, the little fairy, let's see, oh, the little owl that's tucked in here, and the butterfly, the little chipboard fairy that we did, and then the little fairy here. And the word happy birthday is actually from the card kit, along with the butterfly, the bird, and the flowers back there. So for this fairy, I did do color these up on another video, and how I did that is I went ahead and used the mixed media paint on the fairy, and then I painted her using this fawn acrylic paint. Okay, then I went ahead and just colored her hair using some brown watercolor, and then I went ahead and used my gelatos, the purples and the pinks, to blend in on her wings. Now, I did use clear gesso on the chipboard before I colored it and painted it or anything, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. But if you are in that mindset that you don't know what you're going to do with your chipboard, just go ahead and put on some clear gesso and let it dry, and that way you don't have to worry about the color, if whether or not you're going to use paint or gelatos or anything like that. It'll help your colors be more easy to apply to your chipboard. So and then for the little butterfly, I went ahead and painted him pink, and then used some of that little diamond shimmer dust that was in a kit from, I think, last year. It might have been this year. And then I used some of the little flat back diamonds that we have from the card kit. I went ahead and used those on the side, and I think this turned out super cute. How cute is that? Especially just to sit on a desk, I think that is super cute. Okay, for the second one, I went ahead and used the scrapbook kit for this one, and this one turned out super, super cute. So this, I used the flowers that come in the kit, and also down here the flowers. This here is actually a stamp that came in one of the card kits, and I'll put it down below. I'll link it for you. It has a lot of good sentiment stamps in it, and I'll link it for you down below. And so I put thinking of you, and then I put a little fairy dust right there. I thought that looked super cute. I added the clock on a little toothpick, and then I did the back as well, so you could see the back. Now, I did not glue down a lot of the other items. As you can see, I did use toothpicks, so I did not glue anything down. If you want to glue stuff down, you are more than welcome to do that. I just thought I would leave them like this, and you know, because sometimes people want to change them out. I did use toothpicks on the back of the flowers, and I stuck them in there. And it's easy if you roll your toothpicks onto the dots, the glue dots. Okay, roll your toothpick onto the glue dot and then stick it behind your flower. And that's what I did there. Super cute. Now for this butterfly, I used some fine gold glitter that I had in my stash, and then I went ahead and used the green. Actually, I used this, which is the reactive ink, for her little dress here. And I let it dry. And then on top of that reactive ink, I went ahead and used the Evergreen Emerald, which it came in another mixed media kit. And so I went ahead and put that on top of there. And then here I used a butterfly, and, you know, used the same paint for the little fairies body, and then used some like a watercolor that was yellow, and I went ahead and did her hair in yellow. So that's how I created that. And so, and then this little tag just pops out. Whoops. It pops out along with the flower. So these can just get stuck back in there because they're, like I said, nothing is glued down. But this little tag just pops out, and it's in that little envelope back there. And that's just to write a little sentiment, or maybe you want to stick a little gift card back there or something for somebody. And so that is how that works. So there you go. So I hope you liked today's projects, you guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. Take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks for joining me today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and head on over to Trace Jolie to check out their shop. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment, and join me Friday nights at 4:30 Central Time.